All right, and we are live, family. We are live. Shout out to everybody out there. Thank you for your patience as usual. Blue Pill's already in celebration mode. You got
Hey,
the cigar. He's already in celebration mode. So much going on. So much goodness. So much goodness going on. Let's start this thing off, family. I know. Oh man, Blue. You know what's it's amazing how fast time goes by, Blue. I remember let me share this article about these solar flares. I remember just a couple of years ago, Blue, me and you being on the computer on a show, and we like, yo, I'm talking about Iceland. How I wanna, I was like, yo, I got this thing for Iceland, Blue. And I'm like, yo, we need to go.
Greenland.
Yeah, they all that's the same. Norway, Greenland, Iceland, same shit. And we like, yo, we need to do a trip to see the aurora, or what do you call, how you say it? The auroras.
Boreal.
Yeah, man, Blue. Fast forward, that shit is all in the United States,
Yeah,
Vermont, Virginia. Man, so many people putting up
bro.
pics. I still ain't see it, man. I'm like,
They said
yo,
it came down to North Carolina. This particular one.
yeah. Oh,
Um, we were looking at doing a trip, and they had geodetic domes out there with see-through moon roofs. So
mm,
you could get an Airbnb out there, and it just was cheap. You could get one for like $35 a night. You just got to get to Norway or Greenland, and
wow.
they have Aurora Borealis. I'm jacking the last name up, but they had them tours, and
Mm,
you could get under those lights.
mm,
Feel me, and absorb that particular spectrum of light. That
mm.
that particular electromagnetic spectrum of light that we don't pick up with our limited availability of light spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, welcome, man. Welcome to Black Magic 363.
It's 363 Empire now, Blue.
Free Empire. You are Father Rich. I'm Brother Blue Pill, the 50-year-old farmer, and you are now rocking with the best, man. Did you do an intro yet? I'm just saying, we just jump right into it.
No, I didn't even do an intro. Family, I just, I jumped right into it. It's the pure excitement within me. That sometimes you just don't go along to your traditional script. Let me read y'all this though. Let me read you this real quick, Blue. And I want to welcome to the show, family. The brother Blue Pill once again. Um, they say today is January 21st.
Hey,
Gonna be a good show, family. Get comfortable. Share the link if you can with anybody you think might be interested. Let me read this real quick, Blue. All right, let people know just in case, because everybody ain't seeing what's going on the internet. Everybody ain't paying attention to all of this. I don't pay attention half the time. Earth was just hit by the strongest solar radiation storm in over 20 years. Here's what it means. Earth just experienced a red S4 solar radiation storm, the most intense since 2003. Powerful satellites and astronauts, but harmless on the ground, with a severe G4 geomagnetic storm impressed skywatchers with vivid auroras around the world this week. A far less visible but historically significant space weather event was also underway. On Monday, Earth experienced the strongest solar radiation storm since October 2003, surpassing the intensity of the notorious October 2003 Halloween space weather storms. Solar radiation storms occur when a powerful magnetic eruption on the sun, often involving a CME, accelerates charged particles, mainly protons, to extreme speeds. These particles can reach a significant fraction of the speed of light, allowing them to traverse the roughly 93 million miles between Sun and Earth in 10 minutes or less. You hear that,
yeah,
Blue? When they
yes.
arrive, the most energetic protons can penetrate Earth's magnetic defenses and travel along our planet's magnetic field lines toward the polar regions, where they plunge into the upper atmosphere. All right, Blue, what's going on,
Yes,
man?
sir.
Woo,
Yes, sir.
Blue, real quick, as we start, I gotta ask you this because when you have the flat earth community and you have, the community who, don't believe everything NASA says, but
right.
we just don't believe the earth is flat. So one of the things Dr. Phil Valentine says is that the sun being 93 million miles from the earth is just completely false. It's fake news. What's your thoughts? What research have you come across? Do you think this is bullshit that the sun is 93 miles away? Do you think it's more local? How close is the sun to earth, Blue, from what you've researched all these years, my brother?
So I'm the 6 of club card. That's the psychic card, right? And you the 7 of club card.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow you be managing to read my mind more than I probably technically, or or you openly admit that I read your mind. I literally, while I was getting ready for this, I attempted to, I didn't finish my slideshow, but I did start one, and my notes, right,
Mm-hmm.
slowed me down when they were speaking about these. The way that it impacts the planet is a 3-part impact. So they were speaking about the first impact, right? And the first impact was on par with what you were just speaking about. So that's the original eruption on the sun, right? The instantaneous solar flares that impact and are ejected towards the planet, right? Then you have high energy particles, which are the protons that they spoke about second. And they said that those have the potentiality of reaching Earth either anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. But the original light from the sun, they say it takes 8 minutes, right? Roughly 8 minutes and 20 seconds is the allotted time that they said that sunlight takes to reach from the sun to Earth, which is, they estimate, roughly 93 million miles ago. Million miles away. Shout out to New Diamonds. I have a tendency to believe that because of my studies of energy particles called neutrinos, that it hits instantaneously. It almost travels faster than the speed of thought, or the speed of light. Speed of light taking 8 minutes to reach here from space, to me, means that there's a vacuum in space, and it can't necessarily be the level of entanglement, right? Because if they say time and space don't exist because I'm tethered to a particle, right? Let's say red is in the Amazon and I could be in Antarctica. If something happens, there's an instantaneous indication because there is no space between us. There's an illusion of separation of space, especially when they say that space is empty, just like our atoms. So myself sat there and said to myself, bro, if they're telling you that you're looking at light from stars that are millions of years ago, right? But those stars are light years away, right? And the cosmos is governed by the sun, but the sun is physical, and that light is present and in the now, instantaneous, what's going on in the present physical moment, and that present new light takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds to reach here. I said something don't make sense, right? If what it is that they're telling me that the light that I'm looking at is a projection and a reflection from something that potentially happened millions and billions of years ago, right? So I'm like, well, what about the sun? Since that is one of, that's a present star in our system. It's in a level of proximity that we could see it. 93 million miles, I guess to us might seem hella far, but when you up against planets that are, or stars that are light years away, you feel me? Right. So once again, like you said, we're left with not agreeing with the official model and the official narrative and story. I have a tendency myself to believe, because of my relationship with the sun and my ability to go directly to it, And I did this on Res Live the other day. I just came on this live and I sun gazed for people for over a minute through each eye. I changed the frequency of the sun, made it brighter, made it, like do what it do. Through breathing as well, not just sun gazing, but locking into the sun with that gaze and then connecting with it with breathing. And then it's almost like you pushing oxygen into it and making it get. So I'm like, I don't buy that. I have a tendency that it's way much closer. And and if it is 93 million miles, then that's an illusion of space. It should not take light to reach 8 minutes. I feel that it should be here instantaneously. If neutrinos can get here like that, and neutrinos, there's nothing that's impenetrable to a neutrino. A neutrino is going to go through anything and everything without interruption. And we're tethered to neutrinos. We have particles in our bodies called muons and neutrinos. Those particles are the same particles on the sun. So when things happen on the sun, they happen vicariously and instantaneously to you because you're tethered to the sun, interlocked through these webs and these lines. If you would imagine it, because we do have an imagination, allow yourself to see like spider webs connecting and interlocking, because that's how solar winds move on magnetic lines that look like a Nazi spider.
Would that be, because I know you you study quantum biology, and I've had Catherine Clinton. Is that her name? I don't want to mess up her name. Yeah, Dr. Catherine Clinton on the show. And me and her did a show about the fascia. And that's a very under talked about subject. What would you call cosmic fascia? If it's as above, so below, what would, if we have this fascia within us that's so important, what's the cosmic fascia?
You're a legend.
Thank you.
Family, join me in insisting that the brother, and maybe he can't do it, right? But somebody in the audience for him, take these episodes, take them to Chat GPT and illustrate them, right? Or just do something next level with them, because the continuation of the way, the continuity of the line of questioning gives the possibility for us to engage in a beautiful, colorful narrative if it gets translated. Just like you said, the ethereal fascia, the connective tissue, right, would be the plasma.
Gotcha.
So the sun's plasma, of which we are watching eject by way of what they consider to be, or what they call coronal mass ejection. What time is it? Are we past 9 p.m. yet? Do I gotta light the cigar to say this?
No, it's 8:19. It's 8:19 right there.
So the sun or father, right, is having an ejectional moment, family. Very much like when father has a ejectional moment when he is thrusting life force into the universe or into the void, or he's getting in between what they call the gates of heaven, or what my guy Montauk Chia called the Mysteria Gate, the gates of the Mysteria Gates, right? The gateway to the triple stages of darkness. So when you see the coronal mass ejection, understand that the sun has just sent plasma towards the fertile, the soil, the earth, the dirt, which in this particular concoction would be the medium through which that particular plasma, which is charged with instruction, also all of the ingredients of life, once it comes into contact and gets absorbed, the same way that the quote unquote the egg, right, sends that emission towards the specific seed that it wants out of a trillion, and that gets pulled into the gravitational field and pulled in, and it's like, you a winner, right? Before you even got here, you're born winners because you beat 1 trillion out to get here.
Mm.
You are the one. Why? Because you're the chosen one. Why? You chose yourself, but you was also chosen, my nigga. You feel me?
Got you.
And the force that she plays as a quote unquote example, right? I think that one of our elders may have referred to her as a vessel. And in that particular demonstration, let's explain it like a vessel is important when we understand that it imparts the seas and it also carries the cargo. It also has the quote unquote what they call on it the birth, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of these things are tantamount to what we understand when plasma comes as a packet of information, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
disseminated on the surface and it's absorbed by who and ever is ready to receive. And there's particular ways that we go about receiving this manna from heaven.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can receive it by way of the radiation. We can receive it by way of the solar winds, right? So what's a way that we can receive it by way of the radiation? Again, because we're looking at these ambient lights, like the lights that are behind me, right? These are high vibrational color tones, in particular, the same colors that we will see in the auroras. Now, my process and procedure of becoming a urban farmer has allowed me the ability to work with plants and know that the plants can synthesize this information by way of radiation in real time. Um, I'm growing plants that are growing in 4 or 5 days. So I'm literally growing plants that can, they can capture this light, these rays. We could also go outside and sun gaze. If we ground on the ground, we absorbing this charge, the electromagnetic frequency, directly through our soles of our feet.
Mm-hmm.
But also, again, if you're doing absolutely nothing, you are also receiving it by way of neutrinos permeating your physical vessel every macro and microsecond. But if you attune yourself specifically and you lay down and you go to sleep and you get to particular rest, then you get to register those downloads. Myself and many people that I know had sleep anomalies this quote unquote weekend, this strong end, and specifically on the morning of the 19th.
Right. Right.
I had the weirdest thing happen, right?
Mm. Come on.
I I swore I heard my name called. No, not so much the name call as I swore I heard the alarm go off. I get up, I go to the bathroom because when I go to the bathroom, I come back, but there's nothing else is moving in the entire house, and I'm like, that's normally not what's going on around that time. So I look at my phone, and then this is the thing about my. I also told people I'm able to tell when my phone is full out of nowhere, right? When my phone gets filled up out of nowhere, the phone is a black screen, right? So this phone is celluloid. Just like our body as a melanin spacesuit, you are absorbing electromagnetic frequencies and rays, which you call the signal, my brother, right? What you call the signal. Think about the medium. Think about your body as the sand. Think about the signal as the vibration, and think about the result of their interaction as the cymatic that we see when they're showing the cymatics, right? So something has to be the absorption medium for the sound frequency in order for it to fractal into sacred geometry, which is encoded information, right? So your melanin, because it's carbonated and hexagonal, has the ability for shock absorption. Why? Because they show you the specific design of a honeycomb mathematically is built that way because a hexagon and carbon formulated in a hexagonal structure could absorb the most amount of weight and stress and everything else, right? Because of the way that it folds upon itself. If we saw what it does three-dimensionally, it's the best form for shock absorption. right? Your melanin and you being the melanin being a semiconductor, the more weight that you put on it, the more it absorbs and refracts back like vibranium. Okay. These spectrums of light, when you see higher purples and violets and things of that nature, it's the same thing. That's why they showed you vibranium in the movie. They had to show you that as a purple plant. Okay. So again, and they're just giving us the secrets. These are all biochemical secrets about how to work your anatomy, how to turn your melanin into magic. You know what I'm saying? How to understand that you can activate your vibranium spacesuit by absorbing the solar radiation and mutating.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
We spoke about 3i, and me and you said that we was gonna be here looking for space anomalies that gave us indications of what we were saying was being co-signed by the universe.
Right.
So when 3i left here, shout out to AA for pointing this out. He told me and Red in December to be super aware of now, mid to later January. He told us that back then because he said 3i Atlas will be in the atmosphere of Jupiter. So with 3i Atlas represented in terms of nickel and copper is what creates a closed circuit, right? And again, this is all of the stuff that I'm learning because of pharmacology, right? This is all the stuff that I'm learning because of electroecology and how you use copper and you use nickel in the garden and bury it underneath to create a closed circuit to eliminate insects from your garden. And also the electrical closed circuit is going to make the roots boost even that much more stronger and survive and be more firm because they have the support. And it's about the humming signal. Did you hear me, bro?
We talked about the humming. We talked about that.
Somebody told you that when you put the copper and the nickel together on a wire and put it underground, that it's going to create humming underground for the plants because that's what the roots need to, just like we do.
That's what you're talking about? Oh shit!
Like that, my nigga's too cool. Yeah.
I thought you was talking about us humming. Remember we was talking about the
Yes, us as well, right?
the cells. That's what you was
Us
talking about.
getting into a repetitive cycle of creation of nitric oxide by simply engaging in about 30 seconds to a minute of humming. So you know I'm gonna have to volunteer you. We're gonna have a humming section or a breakout.
Hey man, shit.
Come on, let's do a breakout humming section real quick.
Well, right now?
Yeah.
How we gonna do them?
Some to that degree, as random as it may seem, people, you could find a minute out of your day to fine tune yourself, preferably locking the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Again, to create a closed circuit where you're humming and your body is ringing like a bell, and that is creating a vibrational frequency. You are internally creating nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is eliminating inflammation and is also eliminating cortisol or stress, which is giving the vagus nerve the permission to relax, which is then releasing serotonin, which is putting you into theta, aka the zone.
Yo, Blue, the that reaches higher, but the hum is like deeper. When you go the hum, it go deeper in the gut.
Yeah,
So
it's
like
guttural.
yeah,
It's
gut,
guttural.
yeah.
Ground when we root and we want to ground in, it's almost like a bowl with the water at the bottom boiling. When we start hitting the omni and all of that, and we get up, that's when we go upper, and we've already moved that what they call that anointing oil, the Christos oil, we moved it up the spinal column and we got it up here, and you know, you shooting it up to the crown.
Yo, before I forget, real quick, Blue, before I forget, because it just came on my mind. But right before, because I know you and I just, it's funny. I just had I just did a show the other day on my own, and I told the people that I want to have some breathing sessions. I want you to do some breathing classes on this channel this year. Right before, and peace to the brother Rashad Jamal. Right before he got locked up, he did a show with me, probably a week before, and
Serious.
Yeah, he was talking about, and one of the things he talked about was that in antiquity we didn't have oxygen. Now you big on breathing oxygen. He said in antiquity we didn't have oxygen. Now that we have oxygen, that's what causes us to rust and have this color. Before we had oxygen, we was breathing, I believe he said hydrogen, and that's when we were more blue. But now that we're breathing oxygen, they moved oxygen in the planet. I don't know if the Anunnaki or whoever, that's why we are this color we are now, because we're rusted. What's your thoughts on ancient civilizations not using oxygen? And because of that, we were bigger, stronger, and we had more abilities than we had now. You ever came across that information in your research?
I did. I absolutely did. But it was the reverse. Shout out to Ra Cool. And he's able to demonstrate, without it being theory, that the opposite was true, that we had access to more oxygen on the planet, in times prior. And that's why things were a lot bigger. The plants were bigger, the animals were bigger, because the atmosphere actually was more oxygenated. So yeah, what we're dealing with today is a result of the lessening of oxygen. Again, the process of what I was speaking about just now, when I was saying that we're pushing it up the spinal column to get to the crown from the coccyx. That part that they call enlightenment, that they call Christos, or Christ consciousness, is when you pass the 32nd vertebrae, it opens a valve, and that valve, once you get to the 33rd, it's not so much the spinal fluid that is engulfing the brain. It's when the valve open, that the oxygen to the brain gives the brain the ability to access more information, because more parts of the brain get activated. Oxygen brings life to everything. When we take fungus, fungus gives you ability to access more oxygen to your lungs. That's why you can do things that are almost superhuman, and on a level when you're on those particular mediums, is specifically because of more access to oxygen. The lessening or the production of nitric oxide, again, everything goes back to oxygen, gives you the ability to unrestrict oxygen flow and get more oxygen and more blood flow to places that it's needed. Monks and everything else, they would sit on their heads and they would do things to have blood flow directly to their brain, because the brain brings more oxygen. So the whole Lucy, the movie Lucy, that entire engagement of her going up percentage wise was her gaining more oxygen. You know what I'm saying? So oxygen is actually the indicator of life. But I do know what he was speaking about in terms of the different, because when I started looking up, I had to do a lecture on the color blue, and that sent me into some very deep research about the antiquated history of the color blue. They said there was never a word for the color blue, because they said in ancient times they didn't believe that the color blue existed. They said it was a variant of green. This is according to the Europeans' research. The further back that I went, though, I found that everything was considered, everything associated with divinity always was considered with blue. And there's an entire pantheon of blue gods and blue skin. And yes, again, that's the evidence of more nitrogen in their blood as opposed to more oxygen. Hence the fact that when you take an inundation of colloidal silver and the liver cannot filter the silver the proper way,
Turn
then
blue.
you turn blue, like our brother Uncle Hanky did.
Yeah, Hank be turning blue every now and then. He be turning blue.
Yes.
Hey, yeah, Blue. Let me ask you. You know, I know you've talked about you've seen crafts before. You know, you've seen things in the sky before. Do you bear witness to two suns in the sky? Is that something you physically seen, or explain that to me?
I mean,
The whole theory of there's two suns. What does that mean for us? Why
yeah.
everybody's not seeing two suns? Why only a certain group? What's your thoughts on that?
Again, I do feel, because I've been in situations in Shasta
Mm-hmm.
with a group,
Mm-hmm.
and some people in the group see the sun, two suns. Some people don't. Some people in the group see the sun blinking, and some don't. And then we had went a further step and got a lot of people's Olmec and Mayan readings, and we found out that the people who were seeing the sun blink or making the sun blink, they had the specific glyphs that gave them the frequency or the potentiality. Like everybody got different Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone don't got the same powers. We all are not experiencing the same thing simultaneously. We're all not attuned to the same frequency to unlock
True.
doors, portals, and access to different vibrational, right? Access points, the things that we see, everyone can't see. Your eyes are attached to your brain. So once again, I think it's based on how your brain is orientated. I think it's based on how you're calibrated. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Um, that's going to be contingent and dependent on not only what you see, but if you're only a watcher and an observer, or can you interact with what you see as well. Like I said, I seen people that, oh, I know people that say, yeah, I seen the two suns. Then I know people that say, yeah, I can make the sun blink.
Right, right.
And that shit might seem far-fetched to people.
Mhm.
um but hey.
Mm. Well. Let me ask you this, Blue. If the solar storms impact our nervous system, and people are reporting anxiety and headaches and things like that, when we know these geomagnetic storms are coming, should we rest up more? Should we be less active? Should we be like, I ain't going out this weekend, the solar storms is coming, I gotta chill for the sake of my nervous system? Is that something we should do?
um I think that people need to specifically, once again, know what their orientation is towards the sun's effect on their particular biology. Like if you have a weak heart, then yeah, I definitely think that it's
Mhm.
not the time for you to be extra active. If you have a tendency for migraines, I don't think that it should be the time for you to be extra active. If you're on meds, I think that yeah, you should be a little bit more reserved. But if you're pushing a threshold and you prepare for a time like this, I think that you should be hopping through the hoops. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I think that you should be on your feet, swinging for the fence, um, because this is a wonderful time, for people who are ready to pick up what the universe is putting down. And like I said, I found in my Facebook reminder, like this same thing happened 4 years ago. Look, it was 4 years ago today. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
Twin solar flares.
Mhm.
You know,
Right, right.
flip that around, but it says two solar flares just erupted on the sun, bringing coronal mass ejections. You know what I mean? So these things, I don't even want to say, unfortunately, it's fortunate that they happen around this time of year, because it reminds us this time of year is when the sun is actually the closest to the earth. You know what I'm saying? So, like the on or around the day that these people popped off and went to Venezuela, the sun was closest to the earth. But also, when this particular solar mass ejection happened, it was a new moon. So did the same people that's telling you that January is not the new year, did they do anything for the new moon, or they just throwing all of January out? Because this is the most populous month For real. Like in my calendar, January be crazy. Right? We need to treat January just a little bit better so we can really understand and receive what it means when the gates and the portals open. Because that's what January is. It stands for Janus. And Janus is the portals, it's the doorways, it's the gateways. You know what I'm saying? This is when we are crossing the threshold. This is when my thoughts are their crispest. This is when the downloads are the most interrupted and like they don't got, like, you don't have to ask, even ironically, in the month of Capricorn, you like, this is not demonic whispers. This is some fresh shit. This is like, it'd be like, you know, like the shit you get out of the freezer fresh. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I love January.
No, facts.
So, yeah, we are in the throes of, again, sun biology. That if we were in tune with these cycles, it wouldn't seem so off because it's repetitive. These cycles repeat themselves around these times of years. And thankfully, because, you know, like, I'll be using the opportunity like this, be like, yo, we dropping the book, me and I'll keep it like, we dropping the book in 3 weeks. Here you go again. Corona Rising. I got all of these receipts, and I've been keeping note of this stuff since like 2020. And this reminds me of 2020 already. You know what I'm saying? This year is gonna mirror 2020 identically. So we ended last year. We did the Saturn show. We were speaking about time cycles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here we are.
There we go. Yeah.
Here we are. January's already shaping.
And speaking of January, boo, let me put this on the screen. Is there any connection? All right, so the solar flares, we just had a big 20 years. Right. Now they're saying a winter storm is coming.
Yes.
That's going to blanket half of the country.
Yes.
They're saying a major winter storm is forecast to bring heavy snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rich frigid temperatures from Texas to Massachusetts. Over the weekend, it's expected to affect more than 180 million Americans and become one of the most significant storms of this winter season. Do you think this winter storm, is it a result of the solar storms that are hitting, or is this winter storm, do you think, could it be their attempt to kind of, I don't know, maybe keep us indoors or throw shit off, like on some, like, is there any connection between the solar storms and this winter storm that's coming, whether it's conspiracy or whether it's cosmic?
Oh, I mean, on the cosmic side of things, I definitely feel that there's a connection. Once again, just because if I go into my notes, this always happens around this time. We always get polar vortexes before the Super Bowl and before the Chinese New Year. It happened the year when they locked up Tory Lanez, and it happened the year right after that. Okay. So, and prior to that, it happened in Texas when the grid fell down. So, if nothing else, like, and this, I had read an article, and this is a funny thing. The prepper industry is a $30 billion industry. And the prepper industry is not only a $30 billion industry, like the ad-driven aspect of the prepper industry is what kind of drives podcasting, right? For the white folk, if you will. So $30 billion industry that's mainly catering to Europeans who are preppers, who take situations like this for impetuses for them to prepare and get ready for what they call the big one. So if nothing else, right, what this continuously does is give us an impetus to think about what will happen with a total blackout, right? Because that's the worst case scenario of all of these things. When we get past the hypothetical and theoretical parts of how beautiful the auroras is or what this might mean to communications, right? Not too many of us fly planes and shit. So, we're really not going to be affected by that aspect of the GPS. What I was saying about the other night, I thought my alarm went off at 3 and it didn't, and it's normally set for 5, and it didn't go off at 5 either. You know what I'm saying? Like everything was just topsy turvy that particular morning. Um, and I got to the gym and it was just weird. And I'm always able to gauge what type of day it's gonna be if I go into the gym and it's the twilight zone, like totally new people, new routine, the music be off. Like those are my indicators. Cause I almost feel like I wake up to a different world every day because I wake up at night. It should be different still.
Right.
Um, but if nothing else, again, it's giving us a precursor and an indicator of what the possibilities may be dealing with a blackout. So what if this happened, knocked the grid down, and there was a blackout where people didn't have access to heat because the transformers was burnt and they can't be replaced in 6 months, and then the polar storm was coming like it did in Texas 3 or 4 years ago when their grid went down in the middle of the winter, and they're not used to having inclemental weather in the middle of the winter or solar storms. Then it happened to them. And again, we watched it. And Texas watched it right after they watched Hurricane Harvey in Houston. So these things are like, all right, what do we personally as individuals, as families, as communities, then as a people, what is our contingency plan in case of a blackout? Right?
Mm-hmm.
What's our plans? We don't have none. So our failure to plan leaves us sitting prey for, a multiple of situations and scenarios. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The polar vortex, yeah, these are the things, unfortunately, that happen in winter months. If we can deal with another 2 or 3 weeks of what can potentially be inclemental weather, because or let's say once you get out of February, which is the shortest month, you mainly got 2 weeks in March, and then you out of the. So yeah, give me the solar vortex. I done did all of the. It's gonna be -11 in Atlanta. Yeah, I've been there, done that. So it comes with the territory of what winter entails. I'm willing to ride it out. I'm gonna be growing food, you know what I'm saying, and eating like a harvest.
Right.
But that still is that's still again for me it's comforting, but it still does not solve the issue of what would it take for our people to take preparation serious, since our people will potentially be the ones impacted the most. Remember that movie that they put out at the end of December a few years ago, the Barack sponsored movie?
Oh, something tomorrow or
Yeah, all that, right?
yeah.
Again, always at the end of the year, always giving people preparations and signals about this can happen. Are you ready? Right? And it was entertainment. But once again, we seen how serious them people is about their bunkers, they prepping lifestyle. And when shit hit the fan, you are not welcome to their cookout.
Right. No, definitely. Yo, Blue, before I forget, um, I want to ask you because I'm like, cause you the number guy, you King Simon and you the 44 guy. And I'm
Simon,
like,
straight
uh, what is there any significance? And this may be a little off topic, but I gotta ask you because you're here.
on.
Is there any significance? We know sometime when something in the cosmos hit Earth, it causes a lot of people to think the collective consciousness to think the same way. It may wake people up at the same time. It may
Mhm.
uh, cause people to go a certain direction at the same time. Is there anything you got out of this 6-7 thing with the kids and this number? If we're talking about numbers and numbers being energetic frequencies, is there any particular reason that this number became 6-7 became so intensely popular over the last year? Blue, the number god.
6'7" was interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm also amazed, like nobody attributed to like 6 foot, 7 foot. Like I'm like Lil
That's
Wayne had a whole
listen,
song.
that's a good connection, Blue.
And
See?
not only did Wayne have a song, but that song came from Harry Belafonte. So there's like this
Wow,
this this
I didn't know that.
inability to cut off our, like, to start wherever they start at, my nigga, and just start from there. they're rewriting their own history, and it was told to me that these would be these type of children. They're not tethered to history. They don't care about history, and they're willing to create their own. They're taking it from where they go, and they just running with it. You know what I'm saying? And of course, as people are making note of, it's the mystical number 13, which means hidden, which means mystery, which means that we're supposed to be talking about it like this. And being enthralled with it, because it's the mystery. It's the 13, and the 13 is the number that you don't uncover. The master 13, the mystery of 13. Shout out to Kabbalah God. Mm-hmm. So it very much was an interesting subset of numbers, and especially with us coming up this year on the 250th anniversary of this country being 76, the reverse of 67, and 76 also being the location of the first, capital of this particular country. I mean, not capital, but Philadelphia, the home of the 76ers. And Philadelphia is key. They are the Super Bowl heroes. They are the Eagles. 267 is Philadelphia. It's the 206. And again, around this time last year, I went to New Orleans and I told the world, in front of the world, the Pope was about to make transition and we were going to bring in a new Pope. I mean, that's what I did. That's what I did the last time. And I did it this time in this Pope transition, and we brought in a new Pope. And this Pope happened to be the 267 Pope. And he happened to have ties to Philadelphia. And his people happened to be from New Orleans. Mm-hmm. Oh, and his name, and he also equals a 44. Mm-hmm. So,
right.
It was an interesting concoction of the children are now embracing their own level of occult. They're embracing their own level of conspiracy. They're becoming mysterious in their own form. So it was very interesting to see that.
Indeed. Blue, another thing that I want to talk to you about when we talk about downloads, and like, let's say we talk about grounding and we talk about different parts of the body. One of the parts of the body that the small hats always cover up is the head. They always have something on their head. Babies, when children are first born into the world, we have the soft spot on our head. And mothers know to cover up that head, not to touch it. It's a delicate spot. And they say this is where the soul, spiritualists say this is where the soul enters the body, through that soft spot that's in the baby head, and it eventually hardens. Then they said, okay, now you could expose the soft spot. Is this something that we should continue to cover through adulthood and through our teenage years and later on in life? Is this something that we thought we could uncover it, but it's supposed to stay covered, Blue?
Yo, so I be hanging out with my high priest spiritual homies, right? And they be like, Brother Rich initiated, right? I be like, what you talking about? They be like, he be on the show talking the mysteries. The brother initiated, right? And I be like, chill, man, calm down. So what you talking about in African traditional systems, they will call what you're explaining the Ori. Right. And the Ori is the head, right? Pause. And the head is where you encompass your energy and your power. Your ashe is like almost a halo, right? That has to always be protected. I did not watch the episode yet with Isaiah, but I saw the title, and he was speaking about destiny swapping. And there's a way in which you can do that, specifically if you gain access to somebody's crown where their auric field and their Ori is at. So they always would tell you to protect your Ori. They always would tell you to go out. Women specifically, they have to go out with their Ori covered, almost like hijabs. What they call them in Islam, the hijabs. I'm messing somebody's shit up.
Help us out in the chat. I know what you're talking about, though, but help us out in the chat with the name.
I don't want to be disrespectful, but you know what I mean? Hijabs, right? And kufis for that matter, right? The kufis will operate as the crown, right, and the protective shield. So go to another level in Eastern philosophy. So I'm gonna show you the difference between Eastern and Western world, since we always make the dichotomy. In Eastern philosophy, in the Eastern world, specifically through training of martial arts, they tell you that you are tethered and connected to the world through your crown,
Mm.
right? The Western world tells you that you're tethered and connected to the world through your prefrontal cortex,
Mm.
right? They want you to be here and they don't want you to be here. This cords you
Mm-hmm.
to the universe. This
Mm-hmm.
cords you to them,
Shit. Damn.
right?
This is a good show tonight, y'all. Damn.
This keeps you right here, present, locked into the prism.
Right, right, right.
This does not allow you to get into ancestral connection, which deals with that invisible, ethereal silver cord to the overmind, right? Eastern philosophies and martial arts and things of that nature, they teach you to always tap into the crown. So when I do my visualization techniques, when I'm doing crazy shit in the gym, I'm visualizing a yo-yo.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When I cannot, when I can't muster the strength for that last set, I envision the chord, and it's almost like God is like this with the yo-yo, and I'm up.
Right.
And
That's
the fact that my body will respond to that shit gives me, because I'm a shit talker. Imagine talking shit to myself and myself be listening, right?
that's healthy.
Yeah,
That's
I
healthy.
get out of control with it. I mean,
That's healthy.
that's healthy.
That's healthy.
Right? I got an amazing relationship with shit talking with myself responds, and I find evidence of the big homie, that the big homie exists. And and you guys should also know that that's the thing that keeps me in check, because I'm terrified of being on the wrong side of that invisible force that I acknowledge and bear witness to. You know what I'm saying? So I be out, I be in my mineral ministries, I be in my sermon, I be wilding sometime, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I might wild up God, but it's never like, even if I'm pressing and questioning, I need some answers. Like, who is it? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in doubt that there's an existence of a creating force in this universe that is beyond beautiful, beyond our, so perfect in its machinations. And I really gotta sit back. I'm like, I like this shit for this one, right?
Yeah,
Because
Blue gonna have me light a cigar too, man.
the ancestors is telling me, they like, talk your talk, young man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You earned the right. And what I want to say is that regardless of what you might be going through, family, anybody that's hearing this on the other side of this motherfucking channel, right? Anybody that might be hearing the sound of my voice, know that you, not only are you covered with this cosmic covering that gives you this blessing, not only are you evidence that you are a recipient of an amazing covenant, right? Not only do you have the cosmic covenant from the creator because you are amongst the chosen, because you chose yourself. Why? And it's the evidence that you chose yourself. You got suited and booted in this spacesuit that what? Gives you that cosmic covering. But even beyond that, you live on a planet that they have showed you is so resilient, that rebounds, right? So resilient, they keep counting us out. Not only will you not stop and you won't quit, not only do you belong to a people who can't be defeated, not only do you have a history that can't be buried, that continues to peek its head out and sprout through the dirt, but you live on an earth that cannot be eliminated. You live on an earth that won't be collided into by anything else. You live on an earth that won't be invaded. You live on an earth that always seems to be missing disaster by a split second. So you live on a planet that's favored, right? And if there's always second, third, fourth, fifth, X amount of chances given to this planet to give its shit together, then the same thing bestowed to you. Then the same thing awaits us in every awakening day. But it's the specter of the now moment. You feel me? It's the beauty of something so random. We could have said like, oh, well, January 19th was Martin Luther King Day. And the universe had to let these people know on the day of the king, they was going to ring the bell the loudest. That eruption happened on a Sunday. In my ministries, right, I teach the Bible from the Gregorian calendar day, Brother Rich, Father Rich. So Sunday was January 18th. So that was chapter 1, verse 18. We ain't got to go no further to Genesis. Genesis 1, verse 18. I want somebody to read that, but I already know it on the top of my mind, so I'm gonna read it with you. Genesis 1, verse 18 is the day, but it's the fourth day when God put the sun in the sky. So the day that the sun exploded and gave us his biggest hooray, on the day of the sun was the day biblically when God put the sun in the sky. But listen to this, Brother Rich. If God put the sun in the sky on the fourth day, because God only worked 144 hours, only 6 days, only 144, then he tapped out. But if he put the sun up on the fourth day, that means that it was already 3 days of darkness. So as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. So now all of these people that are speaking about the ending is coming, what do they always say? It's going to be 3 days of darkness. So if people of the sun and the chosen ones, the least that you can do, because Montauk Chia just put a whole episode out where he said you need 3 days in the darkness to recharge your melanin and get back to your original self. So we should be looking for 3 days of darkness as the advantage of melanated people to be like, oh, the sign and the signal of them 3 days of darkness is the universe telling us that the flip has happened, and it's your opportunity and chance to get back in the driver's seat. You can't sustain 3 days of darkness? Wasn't you born in it?
No, definitely.
So as long as you can sustain and make sure that your family is safe and make sure that your family is fed, and you don't got to prep for 3 years. You could prep for 3 months. You could prep for 3 weeks, or you could just prep for 3 days. You feel me?
Indeed. Blue, you inspire me to like the cigar. I just, may we, they say to set your intentions as you light the cigar. And may the cigar assist in us receiving the messages that the solar spheres are sending that is necessary for our spiritual evolution and development. May we receive what each individual one of us need to receive to get to where we got to get, and we fulfill our destinies. We all have a destiny. We have a purpose, and it's all each one of us has a different one. And when we combine it, it's a beautiful thing. So may the smoke assist us in that. Indeed. Yeah, RIP with that Ashe. With that, RIP Charles Finch. Ashe. One of the first brothers, and I talked to Mama Kali the other day. Shout out to her. He was one of the first brothers. She the one that told me he transitioned. He was one of the first brothers out there talking about melanin. Dr. Richard King, right. Charles Finch, and
Richard King.
These are giants. These are legends.
And he transitioned on that day.
What day? The 19th?
It was reported on the 19th, but he transitioned on the 18th.
Wow.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but according to what I read, it definitely lined up like that. Also, we also have to make an acknowledgement of the transitioning of Bill Donahue. Bill Donahue was astrotheologist.
Oh, the white dude, brilliant,
Yes.
brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Get it, you know, next
The
to
white, yo,
Pablo,
the other white dude from Chariots of the God, he passed away too. The dude who wrote the book, what's his name? Tell me his name. What's the name of the dude that wrote Chariots of the God? There's a couple of people who passed away this so far this year. What's his name, yo? The white dude. I know some of my white people in the chat. What's the name of the dude that wrote Eric Von what? Eric
Word.
Yeah.
He transitioned to it's rocking and rolling.
Billy Carson had some interviews with him, I believe. Yeah, Billy Carson had some. Yeah, he had some interviews with him. Now this is beautiful here, y'all. Like when I say this is a beautiful feeling, it's a beautiful.
So new moons is about setting your intentions.
Eric Von Doniken, right? This right here. Yeah.
New moons are all about setting your intentions through invocations, or I'm gonna go a step further. I just shared an article with you about they did recent research and they showed them through the spectral lights, the neurons in the heart, right? So being intentional, being heart-centered with an intention that you are able to emit a feeling by way of sentience by being 4 ventricle or 4 valve heart-centered with something is going to emit a frequency that the universe hears you. You are ringing the bell. They hear the signal. Yeah. If that was you on Monday, on the new moon, you made an invocation. That solar flare amplified it and give it an ashe. Sprinkled all sort of pixie dust on it and took it to crevices and parts of this universe that they have not been able to reach because the wind came through.
Beautiful. Wow. Blue, you talked about the invisible silver cord.
3:16 a.m. he left. I'm listening. Yes. I say to that ancestor.
3:16. Okay. I say. You talked about the silver cord. I always like to ask questions and apply the hermetic axioms to it and see if there's a connection. Yes. The price of silver recently went up. A lot of people have been talking about silver. Is this evidence that the silver frequency is stronger and maybe perhaps that cord that you're talking about is stronger than it's been in a while? What do you think there's any connection, Blue?
Yes. Absolutely. Shout out to my brother. There's a brother in the network called Q, and this brother has been ironically majority of last week we were in training, and the brother's a day trader and he's been teaching me his strategy and things of that nature. So there's direct evidence to show that there's a direct connection and correlation in the markets with this solar activity and the way that it has been impacting the planet and impacting our biology and also impacting the metal markets. So the explosion of silver is definitely tied in, I think, not just with I think also tied in with 3i Atlas and the connection that tin has and nickel has on silvers. But yeah, silver. I'm caught him out because I was like, there was something else that I know that I had wanted to bring up with when it came to silver that kind of jumps out. But definitely, yeah, silver's being impacted a lot of different ways because of the planetary shifts that are happening. Financially, silver's being impacted because of the financial shifts, the financial instability, the technological shifts based on rare earth minerals, and silver's needed for a lot of the new tech. But silver is also, silver's also a purifying agent. You know what I'm saying? Silver's also something that they don't want you to have because it kills vampires. So you're really gonna need your silver. Your 99.9% pure silver. Yeah, silver. Silver's busting right now.
You know, I'm gonna be a complete magician. Next question I ask Blue, I'm gonna go get a little silver. I'm gonna have silver out here, the cigar
I would
out here.
my silver too.
I got some chlorophyll water. I'm popping right now. I got my crystal. Yeah, we getting the pop on and popping tonight. Um, I want to get some questions from the family.
Yeah.
Start putting questions in the chat. I want to get some questions from y'all about the topic, the solar storms, these downloads, these symptoms, whatever you may be on your mind. I want to King Simon. Shout out to King Simon in the chat. Simon said I walk with silver. Shout out to King Simon in the chat. You know, like I said, I did a show the other day, Blue, and I was talking about.
I seen it.
Okay, so Blue, you know what? And then this, I mean this. I swear, Blue, this is like a clear message that came to me. We have to increase our boredom tolerance, Blue. Think about it, Blue. Even when you talk about self-discipline, at the core of discipline is boredom. The ability, listen, Blue, the ability, just an example, to practice the same jump shot 1,000 times in one day. Mm-hmm. Now, by the 482nd time, Blue, it appears that you're watching grass grow. What do I mean by that, Blue? It appears as if there's no progress because you're doing the same thing so many times, the same shit. So it's like you're watching grass grow and you're like, ain't nothing happening. But this is what all the super geniuses do to reach that super genius, super great level where they're above the rest of humanity. And at the core of that discipline is embracing boredom, Blue.
Yes.
And we are people of excitement. I like to get live excitement. I get loud. I do all of that. But there has to be a level of us embracing and increasing our boredom tolerance in the middle of a society that's overstimulated, Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think God was bored. That's why he created humanity. That, you know, this shit is popping. He's like, you know, he or she, it gets to experience all types of shit. So I just think that, Blue, this year, and you know, the cosmic stimulation that we're talking about is cloaked in boredom, because once we embrace boredom, we still our body, our nervous system, and then we get all the fun shit that we've been missing out on all along. So I just think that, and this is something Sharif is going to help me with this year with the family, we're going to really increase our boredom tolerance. And I think that is a key ingredient, Blue, to these solar storms that are impacting us and everything else, Blue. Tell me what you think about boredom and us increasing our boredom tolerance, Blue Pillar.
Yeah, I mean, you're always on point. You know, I could easily just be like,
damn,
said it all. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll add on, you know, and just speak personally. Because last year was transformational, and we're still in the throes and the energy of the snake year, the wooden snake, and the wooden snake was a lot about shedding. And in order for me to shed, I had to make sacrifices, meaning that I always popped out. I was always supporting everybody's event. I was the one I opened up and closed sometime.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose boredom. I chose not to show up at all and just be at home doing what other people may consider boring shit. You know what I'm saying? And everything came to me as a result, rather than me going out and looking for it, rather than me positioning myself to be available. When I fell back and got real still, right, then I was able to really go out and get whatever I wanted. But I didn't even have to go far. It was all in my mind, you know. I just had to call on it. And it felt like, yeah, it felt like going through class and graduating and then having a superpower. You feel me? Because the universe got to know. I mean, all of this shit sounds cute, y'all. But until you do it, it's just words, right? And the evidence of you doing it will be able to tell. You know what I'm saying? My evidence is that I got out the way. People look, they can't say that they seen me everywhere last year. I was nowhere to be found. You know what I'm saying? I was doing boring shit. But I've grown exponentially through my boredom. And I watch plants grow. I watch paint dry. I sit around and I watch the mushrooms shroom. And I'm not on shrooms, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I've never been more clear, coherent in my life. I've never been more lucid. I ain't on nothing but the excitement of being a co-parent with the planet. You know what I'm saying? And becoming still and receiving from the universe all of the solutions to every Goliath, every problem that we thought that we had as a people, every debilitating factor from diabetes to cancer, you name it, we got a solution. And all of that came from being still. To
Yeah.
be like, why nobody else found this? That was
Mm.
moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I'm watching them out there. They still moving, and I salute them. Them niggas is out of here. They rockets. But I got real still and got in the garden and found it.
Oh yeah.
I found the answer that is gonna make all of us better as a people. So out of boredom, yes, we get blessings because it goes back to it. And then I think as always, you compelled me to try some shit out because you might have came out with a sloganism. And when you drilling some shit, you unapologetic. You know what I mean? You don't even know if you stepping on ants. You just be stepping.
Yeah, I'm
You was
just
going on a tangent about being silent, probably.
ooh, silence is
Yeah, going to tangent about being silent.
yo, let me give a something that a tip that somebody gave to me, a spiritual dude gave to me about cigars for anybody who bought the cigars. When the cigar gets close, when it gets small and it's like it's more intense when you smoke it, so you could charge your tongue with the tobacco. So if you do like a fire breath, like you like charge your tongue, and your tongue is there's a whole science on the tongue, but it when it's close like this, it's a different level of information that you're communicating with. So the dude was telling me about the fire breathing or like the long taking long breaths or whatever. So I forgot to tell that to family, but I just remember that. Yeah, just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
But I want to get to some questions, Blue. I want to get to some questions. Yeah, somebody says there's good nicotine in there. Indeed. And Blue, I want you to tell the people, matter of fact, before we get to the questions, like Blue's into his farming thing pretty heavy. And I'm gonna introduce Blue to this dude I know. I'm learning from this brother named Eugene, amazing farmer. Blue's doing his thing. He's doing the indoor farming. It looks absolutely amazing. Before we get to the questions, tell the people because there's like a whole farming movement happening with our people. Tell the people what you got going on right now, Blue, with the farming. Before we get to this squeeze questions, my brother,
Yes.
it's
So
beautiful.
I'm part of a team. It's called Farmy. It's a group of it's a veteran led organization of micro farmers, and a farmy of one is the slogan. Farms across America is the mission. You know, we want to show people specifically like how to urban farm, right? I'm from the city. I might be in the South now, I might be in the country. I got 37 acres in the backyard, but at the same time, I was just in New York in the summer, and I got punished by them grocery prices. I got punished by the Korean fruit stand merchants. I got punished by the Pakistani on the corner that was selling the fruits. Everybody is, for the most part, utilizing food as ransom. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even the highest of quality. And then I seen Snap happen, and I was like, what can we do for our people to insulate them from dependency? And how can we solve food insecurity and food deserts? And the answer to that is to show people how to urban farm, to utilize a corner of their room or a room in a crib or a basement or a backyard or a roof, right? to microfarm. I'll show you how to grow microgreens, and I'll show you how to grow mushrooms. The mushrooms is the revenue generator. The microgreens is access to plant-based protein. The broccoli alone has 40 times the amount as grown broccoli, right? And it's minimalism. It's almost this big, so you're not utilizing a lot of energy to break down the broccoli to access it. It's instantaneous, 40 times the amount, and the shit grows in 11 days. You know what I'm saying? Some of these plants are growing in 4 to 5 days. I'm growing lentils. I'm growing sprouts. I started growing sunflowers. You know what I'm saying? Broccoli, alfalfa. I even started. I did a soy trade. It didn't come out that great, so we ain't gonna keep that going. But damn near everything. And then we got the exotic herbs, and then I have a tea called Gynostema, and this tea is just the most amazing tea ever. Y'all could look up oolong tea. You could look up Gynostema. The Latin name of Gynostema is Pentaphyllum, right? And Gynostema is an adaptogen, 80 times stronger than ginseng, and it helps with diabetes. I don't even know if I could get into all of that with the things that be going on with the tube, but anything that you can think of, family, that has been debilitating our people.
Yeah, YouTube gonna be hating, Blue.
It's like this, right? And we got results and we got receipts, and I'm taking my time with this because once again, once you know what you got, you feel me? You can walk down and do to them cows what you want. You ain't got to run down. And I'm telling you that we running down this on the ropes like Gucci Mane. And I also want to point this out, right? The thing that they say happened to Gucci Man or Gucci Mane, right? Also happened around the time of the solar flare. But Gucci Man called himself what? The flare, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He got robbed of his ice during the solar flare.
Shit.
By a dude called Pooh Shiesty.
Pooh Shiesty.
So I mean, and he from Memphis, and then MLK from Memphis, and then the Memphis, and all of this stuff be overlapping. But we got a lot of time for nigga shit as a people. You know what I'm saying? I want us to be as serious as much as we was about hustling krills. Be the same energy when it comes to healing our people and to patching up, you know, the mud holes that we stomped and created, and our quest to so-called keep up in the burning house that they keep telling us that a man that's been gone for 50 plus years led us into. Niggas turned the burnt house into a bando, and you gonna blame him for that?
Indeed. No, definitely. I see a quick question. Let me ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna get to that in a little while. Let me
Oh, and I got about 10,000 pounds of moss on the ground, that purple from Tanzania. So again, just putting an open call to the hustlers, like, let's get to it. 2026, let's get rich like Money Mitch, but let's write our own ending. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody got to cut throat to one another because they don't got the energy of what that other stuff had. A crop is a crop. Is you know, at the end of the day, it's the same dynamics. You know what I'm saying? It's people want something and you got it, my nigga, sell it.
Indeed.
And again, farms across America. So wherever you at in this country, you can replicate this model and farm these nonprofits. So you also can qualify for your 20 allocated SNAP hours, because after January 1st, SNAP recipients got to put in 20 hours, man hours. We call that run the jewels, but not jewels like jewelry, but JOULES, energy, right? Man hours, manpower. What sort of work are you niggas willing to do to eat? But what if I could show you how to fish for yourself, and then you can go around right? Spreading the good news like Paul in Galatia. And you can show other people how to fish. Then if we got a nation of people that are fishermen, then come on, y'all. What are we talking about? Dependencies are over. But then you got the monkey off your back as well, because you was able to put Goliath out. Come on, y'all. So I'm super excited. I'm so stoked about 2026. More solar flares. More solar flares, man. Let's go.
Indeed. Let's get to I'm gonna get to this question real quick. A lot of good questions in the chat. Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. YouTube has had me stuck on like 400 and something thousand subscribers. I've been on that for like 4 years now, yo. I've been on like 430 subscribed thousand for like 4 years, y'all.
Yeah,
I should have been
well
over a million by now. Shit.
I want to tell you on some I show speed, right? And I think I shared this with you because it was shared with me. It was shared with me by Inventions when he came back from Africa and he went to the most remote place in Ghana. Yeah. One of the most remote places. And he's like, yo, y'all popping out there. So, and then when Keys came back from the continent, he was like, bro, you got to go to the continent. He's like, y'all popping out there. YouTube will never tell you your reach. YouTube is suppressing your numbers. Yeah. YouTube is not telling you that you popping and you know, Mikadishu. They not giving you those analytics. They're not even showing you those comments. You gotta go access your YouTube and go to another country, and you're gonna see a whole different comment section.
Yeah.
They're not showing you the global reach, and we be like, oh shit, somebody's calling in from Saudi Arabia. Oh, somebody's listening from Oman, you know, niggas listening from Libya. Yeah, you be surprised.
Y'all been telling me that
global, and they putting us in a box because they have the ability to work with the levers, bro. You know what I'm saying? They got the ability to work with the levers. It's a game of mirrors. Red went to Colombia. He was popping with the niggas don't even know the English. The English. Come on now.
Shout out to South Africa. That's one place.
Yeah, shout out
to soon. I think.
Goldberg, yeah.
I think I'm gonna get some major downloads in South Africa. So I'm gonna be visiting y'all sometime soon.
I made music for them. I'm going out there to perform.
I gotta play Shaka Zulu. Me and Kambada, Shaka Zulu. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the Zulus. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get to this next question. This is a good one, Blue. This brother says, how does being a jazz musician help balance the downloads during this time? Shout out to all the jazz musicians. Yeah. Shout out to my jazz teacher, piano teacher, Haitian brother Durns. Go ahead, Blue.
Absolutely. And that's a beautiful question. I initially was playing Sound Bowl, the Sound Bowl app. I was playing that around the plants. When I started playing jazz, the plants was telling me, yeah, that's what we like. Put that on, right? So what jazz is the ability of the jazz musicians. The jazz musicians, some of them were on mind-altering substances, which allowed them to access these spectrums of light in the way that they were able to go up. Like you spoke about the discipline factor earlier, and I was going to speak about the fact that today I was about to do this long post on the mob mentality and speak specifically about Kobe and how also when Kobe made transition in 2020, I did a deep dive on Kobe. And I said, if I can't be Mamba great, I don't want to do the thing, whatever the thing is. You can't apply Mamba. So then I took that same approach with the fitness thing. So I'm 80 weeks in as of Monday, 80 strong in, right?
Shout out to you for that, brother.
I applied a Mamba mentality and did a 180-degree reversal of my sleeping pattern in order to make circadian rhythm my new religion. So I can work with the plants because I operate on the same light and dark schedule as them. And I'm obedient to my melanin, right? Just like they obedient to their photosynthesis. I know how both of them work coincidingly. And we work great together. When I go down, they go down. It don't require much, bro. So the spectrum of light that we see that might be disorganized, like if you pull up a picture of an aurora, right, and it might look disorganized to the eye, I bet you if you put jazz on a sonic vibrational frequency modulator, it will look the same way.
I'm glad you said that.
It will
Blue.
look the same way. So
Perfect.
the organization of disorganized static into a particular sound pitch or frequency that we can pick up and that is emitting through our particular seven sensors, which are all connected to those that the organ, you know, folks say all that shit. Don't already, right? All that.
Blue. Let me add on real quick.
Please do.
I love this question, and I love what you just said. And as somebody who was taught by a Haitian jazz teacher, one thing he always taught me when he taught me, because initially I thought I was like, I want to learn classical. He was like, learn the jazz way first, and everything else is going to be easy if you can learn jazz first. So the thing about jazz is that, let's say you want to play a chord family on the piano. Let's say what you playing C, E, and G. So that's a chord. It makes a beautiful sound. What jazz does is it adds color to the sound. So the jazz will take different notes that are slightly, I don't know if dissonant is the word, but it adds this beautiful color to it. So instead of just C, E, and G, you'll play B. So you'll play, they call it a 7th or a 9th or a 13th chord. So you're adding color. So when Blue says, if I'm playing jazz music and it was a visual spectrum, it would be the most colorful music out there. Classical would be beautiful, but it would be a little dull because you're not playing that many notes together. With jazz, it's like the combination of colors is like a dashiki. It's like a beautiful dashiki that you're wearing. You know what I'm saying? It's like sound dashiki. Jazz is like sound
like an aurora.
It's beautiful, man.
Like tie-dye.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like linen tie-dye, denim tie-dye. Because it's not just, it's the fabric too.
Yeah.
Because the backdrop is the backdrop is the crudeness of the instrument. The backdrop is the conditions that they had to make music under. The backdrop is the fact that they was not trained. The backdrop is that they just dropped these instruments on them and they just started blowing air in them. And then something told them to attune to that particular instrument a particular way, and it became one with the instrument. The backdrop is that they was being told that they was illiterate, insignificant, and you know what I'm saying? They couldn't read notes. They didn't need to read notes. The notes read them. Right? And that's the backdrop. The backdrop is that they was able to catch the note between the note. Yeah, it's a Coogee sweater. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So the highest expression of intelligence on this planet, according to science, is improvisation. And the highest improvisation artist on this planet, initially they say is a jazz musician, and I also say is a freestyle artist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Somebody said jazz is black classical music, and I just want to say, in the people that lived in the time of Beethoven described them as swarthy, which is black, another word for black. So even classical music, Beethoven was way darker than what they tell us he was. So that's our shit too. You know what I'm saying? That's our shit too. This is a great show. Let's get to another question. Somebody said, are gifts activated my right palm gets hot a lot for a few seconds?
I would tell you to go online and look up the kinesiology. I might be using the wrong telekinesis. I might be using the wrong word. The niggas who be causing fire in their hand, whatever that shit is called, there's a whole academy of them.
They on TikTok and the gram.
Instagram and TikTok. It's a melanated brother that's their leader. Them niggas is the X-Men, and y'all is part of that generation. I could look in the screen and I'm looking at you and you there and y'all part of that. So get some training. get training. You know, I'm not telling you to jump into groups because I don't know if that's the time for this, but people are looking for community, people are looking for family, people are looking for commonality. Look, man, just use some discernment. You know what I'm saying? And Google that article that they said about the heart having neurons because I want you to be able to actually see the visuals. And we gotta, with your permission, of course, this year I just want to emphasize a lot more for us to get into visualization techniques. So the fact that they can see it, and then you think about because people will tell you, yo, you need to listen with your heart. You need to think with your heart. They can be like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Right? Crazy that shit sound. But if I show you that your heart has neurons in it, and then there's a string going up that connects those neurons to your brain, but you also got neurons in your stomach. And then I found out that you got neurons in your calves.
Yeah, they call it the third heart. They call
Yeah,
it, yeah, what the fuck?
I'm again
Yo,
so in love with life because
yeah.
it's I crossed the rubrics of 50, but I'm learning things now that I'm going to carry for the next 100 years, living a brand new life, doing shit as a child again. You know what I'm saying? And being unapologetic about it. You know, I don't have physical children yet, but I'm the parent. I'm a proud plant parent. Plant-based Pablo.
Plant-based Pablo. Yo, how many names does this dude have? Yo? Plant-based Pablo. Oh shit! Wow. This
Yo,
is
so mad my light ain't working.
plant-based Pablo.
My ancestors like, fire that up, nigga.
Oh man. Let's get to another question in the chat. Wow, I'm having such a good time, and the cigar certainly helped. I'm having such a good time. This is beautiful. Somebody said, "Is there good nicotine in those?" Yes, excellent.
The
Pure,
best.
some of the best. Definitely.
And nicotine. Look, this tobacco is a crop, bro, and farmers had to pick it, and their methodology of picking and curing tobacco puts them on par with the best in the world, only comparable to people in other parts of the Caribbean, such as Cuba. So you done tapped into a frequency where, again, the spirit of the Americas moves through corn and tobacco,
Yes.
right? The entity called Wakanda can be summoned because the entity called Wakanda is tethered to the land of the Americas, is one in one with them. But the way that you conjure, the way that you honor this particular entity and this deity is through tobacco, they said, and through corn, right? Through growing corn, through maize, and through tobacco.
Indeed, indeed. And somebody asked about the crystals because I had mentioned it before. Let me just read you a little bit on the plums. I said, let me ask. They say the surface crystallization is sometimes viewed as ancestral acknowledgement, especially when noticed unexpectedly or during reflection. Your offering a moment has been received. Um, what it says. It says people who are well, yeah. I'm because they this is a whole paragraph. I ain't gonna read all of this, but yeah, it's a real good thing, y'all, and it's a sign of that the tobacco or the cigar was cultivated and taken care of and preserved with the right temperature. So when the cigar is preserved under the right temperature, it forms this crystal, and they call it plum. And as we all know, how important crystals are. We are crystal beings. We use crystals. Crystals are in our computer. If crystals in our computer and crystals are forming on the cigars that I got, what does that tell you about the technology of the cigar? It's
Not
powerful.
only that, excuse me, the specific reason, and because I'm frustrated right now. So going through a moment because it's like I might have to pause and go and light it upstairs and then go and get, Anyway, our pineals are formed out of calcite crystals. right? Calcite crystals are the same thing that you find in granite. Granite is the same thing that you find in places like Stone Mountain. Okay.
Right, right.
So our resonance of the thing that we, and again, you got to put pressure on the calcite. You got to put piezoelectricity pressure on the pineal. And how do you do that pressure? You can do that. You can apply pressure to the pineal through meditation, through humming, right? And things of that nature. You can't just squeeze it. You have to apply it internally. It's a whole process. But the quote unquote crystals that are in here are operating and activating the crystals that are in the pineal. So they will often show you depictions of the babalaos when they are ingesting quote unquote cigars. They'll show you the emanation of the force that they're speaking to. It doesn't come out of their ori, it's coming out of their pineal.
Fire, fire. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Let's get to another question. I'm gonna leave the link for y'all too, right now. Right now. If you want to donate to get a cigar, donations of 30 or more, you could get a cigar with that. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat right now for those who are interested. I seen somebody said, where can we purchase? Let's get to some more questions from the chat. We are vibing. This is an absolute magnificent show.
Your pineal looks something like this. Like,
Yeah. What kind of crystal is that, Blue? What's that?
this is called dog teeth calcite. This the stone. This is from the Atlas Mountains of Morocco.
The Atlas Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah, dog teeth calcite, or the ampu teeth is what we call them.
Give me question. Okay. Have either of you realized that the talents and inventions of melanin people surged after so-called slavery and brought the world forward? You want to touch on that, Blue?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, what were our people doing during slavery that was consistent with what they did outside of slavery? They were working the fields, they were working with the crops, and their hands in the land made them tethered to the land, which made them recipients of the blessings or the providence that comes with the land. The land knows you, right? You have bled, sweat, and cried on that land, right? You have toiled on that land. You have toiled under that sun. The minute our people allegedly got their quote unquote freedom, look what we went and did with it, right? Where did those inventions come from? Simultaneously, we went straight to solutions. Why? Because the information that we were intaking by way of the food gave us real-time remedy to be the people who we say that we are. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to go out into the world and show our contributions to the world because we were still tethered to the land. We were still representatives of the land. The minute that we left the land and went into the city, factory workers working factory jobs, then they put us into the situation where 20 or 30 years after that, we say, oh, the family's broken, the woman is gone, the factories is gone, you know what I'm saying? And our people is in the city basin, be independence. Get back to the land. Even if you're in the city, activate the land. Take food and shelter out of the way. And then everything else, if you're in the city freestyling, because cities are financial centers. So if you're not in the city doing banking business and you're looking to find yourself, at least have the essentials taken care of. If them fathers was physically not in the crib, but they was next door and they could have brought microgreens or food over to the child and still been able to support and supply food, and then hustle food instead of drugs to make sure that they could pay for shelter, right? We wouldn't be where we're at if we never abandoned food. God's chosen people were put in the garden for a particular reason, because good food equals good people, and God said his people was the best people, right? So it, to me, yeah, it kind of like it's just the food, because nothing else makes sense. When you speak about the Indian Removal Act and the Trail of Tears and they moved them people from Mississippi and Tennessee and the Mississippi Delta region, and they said that they marched them all the way to Oklahoma, right? Once again, because our people were tethered to the land, right, and they was working the land, or they were from the land initially, right, because they pushed them people out of gold-rich lands, the Indian Removal Act, North Georgia, Tennessee, and places like that, they found gold there before they found it in California. So they pushed them people out, and they pushed them to what? A land of providence that has oil in it, right? These are people who are working with the land and were awarded by the land, who have always been comforted by the land, who have always provided, or the land has always provided for them, regardless of what they were going through politically. You feel me? So it has to be the land. The land is you know, blood and soil, right? What are we fighting for in terms of identity and ethnicity if it's not returning us back to the land? The land is the prize. Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's something we needed to hear that. Let me get to another question. Sorry, y'all. A lot going on there. Sorry, y'all. Blue, they want to know, what are your thoughts on other planets being under this firmament?
I don't know about that.
All right. Let's get to, somebody's asking, are we going to do another gathering of the masses? Soon, maybe this year, maybe next year, but yeah, sometime soon. I'm not sure when. As I said before, I don't like to force it. But yeah, we definitely need to do one within the next couple of years. So definitely. Somebody said, can we get one in person in the 8th this Saturday? I'm not sure what. You might be referring to KT's event. I'm not sure, but
KT on Saturday.
I forget what day it is. He got something coming up.
Okay, shout out to Spin City. Got something on the 24th.
Shout out to Spin City too.
Yeah, I think that's a Saturday. And if the family's in the building, we'll be doing our first farming presentation and kind of laying the metrics out.
Where's that at? The Spin City joint. Where's that at?
I believe it's on the land. It's farmland that he is occupying. I believe it's out in I don't want to say Fayetteville, but please, yeah. If somebody's in the building that has that information, please post it. And if not, I'm definitely going to be posting it on my page. Shout out to Billy Carson. I've seen our brother Billy been on the move as well. He got something in Dallas next Saturday. Amazing. And shout out to New Diamond. She said that, you know, a Shasta trip or something like that would definitely, Arizona or Shasta would hit this year. And I really wish I would have prepped prior to take a small group out to the Tucson gym show. And again, you know, I want to point that out. The Tucson, the etymology of Tucson is Tucson. So we would have to research and say, where did Tucson, Arizona get its name from? Because Tucson is is etymologically Tucson, but Tucson was borrowed from indigenous people that were there before the colonizers. So that name go back way long ago, connected to narratives and stories and mythos. Man, I love it here. Oh, KT has a dining event on the 20th. I need to catch up. And B Dell will be there. I'm out the loop. What the fuck is going on? My apologies for the Moorish Latin, y'all. But yeah, damn. I'm gonna be outside on. I'm gonna be outside. I'm gonna have sweet tea. I'm gonna have the sea moss by the boxes. I'm gonna have microgreens. I'm gonna have mushrooms. I'm gonna be outside.
All right.
Saturday bacon.
Indeed. I got a lot going on. A lot of things going on this Saturday across the country. Billy doing something. Spin City Blue. King Simon said we in NY for my born
Yeah.
day.
Yo,
So wow.
see, I'm coming. I'm gonna be in New York for Nicholas. She got a health fair coming. I'm
Mm.
gonna pop my ish. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show my behind up there. So I'm gonna be there for that. My people, Happy Monkey has a reopening on January 31st at Albee Square Mall. They have a dispensary. I think I'm gonna go there for that too.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah, shout out to Red. He on his world tour. He's doing
Shout out to
opposite of
Red.
ICP. Yeah, he went to the global south. So I think this year is gonna be global. People are gonna see us popping up in all of these different places.
Man, it's beautiful. It's
Uh,
beautiful. Us traveling the world. That's a beautiful thing. Um, Let me see what else. We're gonna do two more, then we're gonna get out of here. Give me some more questions by Rosa from the Goodwill. Give me some. Okay. Can the benefits of the crystal technology in the crystals help heal the effects of gang stalking, electronic surveillance weapons, radiation? I have no idea. I don't know. I have no idea.
you know, again, there's no guarantees, right? But what this question is coming from someone who this may be their reality, this may be their perceived reality. It sounds very personal. What I would absolutely recommend for you to do again during these portal periods, these particular days such as this, again, where your intentions can be amplified. This is when you need to be very much in deep meditation, right? And utilizing the amplification of those crystals to just amplify what that intention is. Your intention is you want to stop the gang stalking, you want to cut the surveillance. You don't know what can create a glitch in their surveillance technology. Any and all things can happen, but you have to be open to all possibilities. And in order to do that, you have to initially put the infraction out in the universe. You know, like Doctor Strange to be dealing with the 1 point or the 14 million probabilities. Yeah, you gotta be on it like that. Yeah, King Simon, I'm there. If that's what you want to do, you know what I'm saying? When I pull up, I'm definitely going to, and I don't have to wait to get there to show you the plan. I will show up. I will email you, should I say, the schematics, the plans about how we can get things started. But definitely, yes, farms across America, any and everywhere, this can be implemented. Hmm.
I'm a meditate tonight, y'all, with my silver.
Yeah,
I got
put it.
shout to Dr.
Yeah,
B. He took me to this jewelry thing one time, and I was able to get
yeah.
some good silver. So shout out to Dr. B. This is a small 10-ounce one.
Yeah, that's good.
Shout out
Put
to
it in
Doc-
a glass, water. The glass under your bed should be a clear glass,
Ooh,
right? A
yeah.
clear glass of water under the bed, and you can put a bar under your pillow. Feel me? So yeah, you in the building. You have nice manageable pieces. They're 99.9%. And yeah, I would also recommend it. This is, and I thank you, right? You made the amazing observation to say during winter months, this is the silver gate. The golden gate is during the warmer and summer
Mm,
months. Those are the times that are governed by the sun. The element that coincides with sun activity is gold, right? So again, I also would gauge people if you're into the markets, see what sort of fluctuation that happened with gold, because we saw gold busting right after or around the time of Venezuela, beginning of the year. But silver really took off, and silver took off for particular reasons. And silver's not going to slow down. Um, but silver has spiritual imports and purposes as well. You know what I mean?
indeed,
Yeah.
indeed.
Get your hands on silver, family.
Right, right. Somebody said, "What if we don't have bars of silver? Can we use silver jewelry?"
Yeah,
They
it's
got
not as
so
pure.
much. They got so much cut in the jury now, Blue.
Yeah, it's not as pure. It has a lot of cut in it,
Yeah.
and yeah, that ain't you ain't gonna. No vampire is going nowhere because you got on silver jewelry. It's like, hey, you got on slum.
Yeah, they messed the jury game is kind
Yeah,
of toe up. You seen
like
that
New
video?
York,
You
right?
see the video? You seen it of tracks
Yeah,
where the dudes the small hats fighting each other? Oh,
yeah,
that shit was hilarious, Blue.
I seen it.
That was
It
hilarious, man.
tracked something else, boy.
Oh
Have you
man,
ever met him?
huh?
You ever met him? You ever went down there?
No,
That was
I never met him. Never went to see him personally. No.
crazy down there.
Yeah, they get crazy down there. They do. Yeah, so much is changing, Blue. I mean, we need to get all our industries back, Blue.
And we
The
will.
farm, tobacco, jury. We need all our industries back, Blue.
We will.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's what he was saying. Where's my fucking money?
yeah,
Yeah, that was hilarious.
son is a hothead. He's a hot wire right there.
You owe me money. Oh man. Let's do one more, then we're gonna get out of
There's
here.
some good
Let's
questions
do.
in here. There's some floating around.
I know. I just so much going on in here. I've been in. I apologize for that, family. Yeah, Azazel used to teach about silver. Kick Simon said that. Indeed,
Absolutely.
I remember.
Shout out to my Jade and Azazel. Because
Yeah.
like they said, if for nothing else, I know I got silver jewelry to fall back on. And I kind of know that the silver jewelry that my Jade used, because I know where she got it from, her stuff is pure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, shout out to the jewelers that did not skim. Shout out to the jewelers. Shout out to the jewelers that created functional amulets like her. She knew that we had to have pure concentration of silver because she knew we was out there fighting vampires. If anybody knew,
No vampires.
it was Azazel and my Jade.
No vampires. No vampires, y'all.
Right.
Blue. I'm sleeping with the silver tonight because Blue said I'm sleeping with the silver tonight, y'all.
Purity.
Pure.
You're creating a shield and a field around you that eliminates any distortion. So all of these downloads. My thing is this again, family. Let's be the receivers.
Yeah.
Right? You can only receive when your hands is open. So all of this closed fist energy, it's not the new. You still on that, my nigga? Open your hands and receive. It's nothing but blessings. Try telling them boys that, right? They ran down in the beginning of January because they know what this energy represents. While we here philosophizing about next to nothing, right? Look, we know that y'all deep. Great. There's no days to be wasted. Every spoke around the wheel needs to be utilized to get to where we're going. You feel me? We don't need no spokes loose. So there's no one day that the market is closed. There's no one day that the sun don't shine. There's no one day the food don't grow. And there's no one day or no one end or beginning of month the rent ain't due.
Beautiful.
So, and then, yeah, thank you. Somebody pointed out. So let's also point out when the auroras bust on the 18th, like I said, I had the illest sermon ever. It was 3 hours and 47 minutes. Whew. And every minute of it, I mean, I love preaching. I love preaching. 60, they got 10 more years of this. When I go to 60, because they're gonna have the Hezekiah, all they're gonna be empty stages all around America. I'm telling y'all, I'm going prosperity preaching.
Low key, we need to gather on Sundays like church folks do. We need that to get us going for the whole week.
47th sermon was Sunday. I've been gathering Sundays. I don't miss a Sunday. If I if it's up to me, like I be having gathering the masses and shit, I gotta miss a Sunday. If it's up to me though, no Sunday's gonna be missed because it's so important. Because my week starts on a Sunday. My strong starts on Sunday. Week starts on Monday. Strong starts on Sunday with the Father. No disrespect to Mama Monday.
Indeed.
Started on a Sunday. Yeah, so it was lit. So I know about the energy. that was coming through because I was downloading it and channeling it through what I was doing in the build. So the next day was Malcolm X. I mean, it was Martin Luther King Day, and a lot of people didn't acknowledge it. It was the first time ever that the sitting president did not celebrate or participate in MLK Day. Who told them that that was going to happen last year, January 20th? I did. Why? Because I know that he did not sign that document, and his whole year was going to be about besmirching and destroying and unpacking everything that King did and Obama did as an extension of him. So I had to relay that out. I know what I'm looking at. I ain't distracted by that. I ain't wasting no time. And this year, reporting on what we don't need to be reporting on. That shit is a distraction for real because it's not putting no food in our. We fell for it. They got us playing their game, right? We're not getting nothing from that return wise. Only stress, distress, anxiety, confusion, right? Nothing comes out of it. Don't make that your primary. And I'm telling you, for somebody who used to make it their primary, I would wake up and keeping up with the Joneses, right? Keeping up with the news. This nigga dominates the news cycle. He owns, he has free real estate in all of our minds. And he's the real estate magnet, but he lives in all of our heads for free. Think about that. The illest biff ever. So yeah, man, we have to take back our time. You know, thank you for that episode dealing with Saturnalian cycles. I never stopped doing the research.
That was a good one.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, right after that, we got the Black Cube down here, just the mushroom house. I really been on my Saturn stuff. I really been acknowledging time cycles. So MLK Day comes on Monday. What does the quote unquote president do? He's tweeting about the fact that he wants to take Greenland, right, where the aurora borealis is happening, where the sun is coming through, where they are emanating these frequencies. First contact. Right. So Greenland is the first place the information comes. I also seen the video about the European, I forgot his name. I know him from the syntax information, grammatical, mathematical syntax information. Michael Wyatt, I think his name was. He was saying there was a spaceship in Greenland, and he did his lecture years ago, where he was talking about that there was a functional ship that still had a pulse and a vibrational frequency, like how they talk about Antarctica. He said it was in Greenland, and he said that they was going to go and take it. This was years ago, and I personally know because my master teacher who taught me was a student of Sun. So I know that Sun be knowing stuff that he don't be supposed to knowing. You know what I mean? But homie, the prez was sitting there tweeting about he want to take Greenland because he ain't got the Nobel Peace Prize, which went to the actual king MLK who earned it. So these dudes are sitting there hating on people that's greater than them and want to make every excuse for why they can't live up to what our people did, right? Because they're 1/5 of who our people are. But then they want to blame, no, nobody gave that to that. All of that stuff that you know our people for, we earned that.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. Blue, this is the last one. Give me a second, sir. Is this the last one? Where's that? Okay. Did y'all see the Netflix series Raising Dion based in Atlanta? I didn't see it. Dion had superpowers inherited from his scientist father that got powers from the aurora flares in Norway. Did not see that. You seen that, Blue?
I did, yes.
Wow.
Little melanated young superhero.
This old show.
It came out a few years ago, but it should still be on. It came out, a lot of noise was happening, and we ain't really lean into it as a community the way that we deserve to. But it's on Netflix, and that's what happened. He got them superpowers. It's a great show. Yup. Got downloads. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
And we have the same access, y'all. I'm telling you, this is the year of Super Sapiens.
Yes, sir.
Um, yeah, I'm just so convinced. I'm unapologetically optimistic. I'm back there again. I be freestyling sometimes, and it's not like though I don't be meaning it. It's just that I'm so confident that sometimes when I freestyle, the technology is not here yet, or all of the words didn't fall down and filter yet. But I'll be damned if it ain't here now. I'll be damned the picture's not clear. Like if you be 150, you can. If you want to live to be super genius and super smart, you can. If you want to live to be a trillionaire, you can. You can have about 444 workers right now. Get into it and be sitting back. You can live your dream right now. We have to redeem the dream. Like, if nothing else, even for AI, like resurrect MLK dream, not him as an avatar. The fact that give permission, allow people to dream again and allow them to dream in color. And what would this country look like in a year if everyone had permission to live their dream, to dream their dream, to redeem their dream, to dream outside of the margins of color, to dream boundless, right? What's your big one in year one, 2026? Let's get rich like Money Mitch. Just write a different ending. You know what I'm saying? And we can do it as friends. We ain't got to cut one another's throat because it's abundance. It's enough to go around.
Blue, beautifully said. Leave your contact information once again. You got a lot going on. You got stuff going on Saturday. Let them know, Blue.
Family, yeah, like I said, this Saturday, we'll be popping out with our good brother Spin City. I don't have the information directly in front of me, but all of this stuff will be posted to my Instagram and my various other social media outlets at Blue Pillar 44 is where you can find that. You can also email me at bluepillar44@gmail for the sweet tea, which is the knockout flow to all of the Goliaths that have been, I can't get into details right here, y'all. But yeah, holla at me for the farming information as well. If you want the plug on the CMOS, right, by the tonnage and the weights and all of that good stuff, y'all gotta hit me up in the DM or pull up on me, the strong in at any of those. I'll be at KT's event and I'll be at our good brother Spin Cities. You know what I'm saying? And one Sunday, yeah, we got to do a IRL on some I show speed and let the people come out. We could feed them for free in the daytime and give them a sermon, and then do something else with them because people ready. They want they community, and this is a magical one. And again, I thank y'all all for being y'all brothers and y'all keepers, y'all brothers and y'all sisters keepers. This has been one of the most genuine, not just online, physical communities that I've been a part of, like in the last 20 plus years. So I always feel the love here. I appreciate it here. I love it here. And we just need more of one another in the new year to remind one another that you the one in year one. What's your big one? One.
Powerful. Thank you, my brother.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, Blue. All right. Shout out to the brother Blue Pill. Magnificent show today. King Simon is sharing Blue Pill's links in the chat. All right. I'm about to get out of here, family, but I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Wow, this was a good show. I had a good time. I was chilling. Blue Pill started smoking a cigar. I had to smoke one, man. Y'all seen that cigar went fast, man. That was one of the smaller ones, but shit, Blue Pill was celebrating, and I just enjoyed the show. But it's going down, y'all, and yeah, it's time, y'all. It's definitely time. Tomorrow is the premiere of my show, my Patreon show with Sharif. It is going to be phenomenal. It is called The Quantum Operators. This is the show that's going to get us tapped in, tuned in, turned on to all this information we have been studying, we have been learning about on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, DVD, VHS, all of that. This show is going to bring it all together. I'm telling you, watch. Sharif is a huge piece to the puzzle. And the name of the show is Quantum Operators. It's debuting tomorrow on Patreon. Everybody's going to be given a homework assignment after the show. Homework is very underrated and important. And yeah, we're going to see how often we do this. We're going to see how the people vibe to it. But yeah, Abraham Hicks. Yeah, shout out to Abraham Hicks. She used to say that all the time. What's her name? What's the lady's name? But she used to say tapped in, tuned in, turned on. She used to say that all the time. Shout out to her. Esther Hicks. Yeah, shout out to Esther Hicks. That's her name, Esther Hicks. But yeah, this hat, you know, we're gonna do it at 3:00. I don't know if it's gonna be live. I'm trying to think if I should make it live at 3. I might upload it later on, but we're gonna be filming it at 3. But I don't know if it's gonna be live or I'm gonna upload it later. But we're gonna be filming it at 3. I might as well make it live. So I might do that. But it will be uploaded tomorrow, nonetheless, you know. Once again, thank you to everybody, and I'll be back on YouTube on Friday. Tomorrow I'm on Patreon for the premiere of Quantum Operators. But on Friday, I will be back on YouTube. I'm not sure who yet. I got a few people in mind, but I will let y'all know pretty soon. But yeah, 2026 is definitely going to be super lit. Yeah, the Firehouse is definitely super. It's already super lit so far already. Somebody said I love your solo show the other day. Yeah, I like, you know, and it's just like with the solo shows, just like I tell you with the lectures, you know, when I get inspired, when I feel it, I like doing the solo shows. I don't like forcing anything because, you know, but yeah, definitely had to say that. I just, you know, that Kai Sanat thing is definitely letting us know the energy that's hitting the planet, and it's the Renaissance era. And this is the era of super geniuses, super creativity, super talented individuals, super spirituality, supermen, superwoman. So I think it's gonna be 3:00. I don't know if it's gonna be live, but we will. If I know y'all gonna come on at 3:00, then I might just do it live. I might just do it. I might just do it live. But it's gonna be. We're gonna be filming at 3:00. All right, but yeah, shout out to all of y'all. Or like I said, I'll be back on YouTube on Friday. I'm not sure. You know what? I got somewhere to go on Saturday. I got to go to Greenbrier Mall. This brother's having elder I know is having an opening. He just opened up a store, and I'm gonna be filming in there. So I might jump around. I might move around, but I gotta go film there. But I might move around. Somebody said live, please. Okay. All right. If I know y'all gonna be there live because it's early in the afternoon, I'll go live. Yeah, if y'all gonna be there, I'll go live. But this is the show. Like I haven't. Wait till I start promoting this and show y'all the clips and everything that we talking about. This is the show of all shows. This is probably this is it right here. The Quantum Operators. That's what I'm gonna say. Quantum Operators. In terms of all these superpowers that we talk about, this is definitely it. This is definitely it. So if you're not a Patreon, you could go to the Patreon website, type in Black Magic 363, sign up, and it's going to be phenomenal. We got I think we're going to be doing a series the whole year. So Sharif is going to be doing a couple of years. I did a series for the year with Wayne Chandler. This year we're going to be doing a series with Sharif for the whole year. So yeah, just stay on the lookout. Stay on the lookout for that. Somebody says, stop in Exotic Cuts across from Greenbrier, my little cut shop. Cut on me. Shout out to Exotic Cuts there. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. All right. Somebody said, y'all keep asking me about Phil Valentine every show. Every show somebody said, I don't know if it's the same person or not. But like I said, Phil will be back on probably February. February's right around the corner. So, but I'm gonna call Phil get him on the show in February. But I think that's it. But yeah, it's gonna be a popping weekend, and I think the storm, the country is supposed to be blanketed with a storm this weekend also. So there's a lot of energy. King said just spoke to Dr. Valentine. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Let me see if I missed any super chats. No. Yeah, I show Chief this shout out to you for the super chat. All right. And I guess on that note, I could get out of here. Everybody enjoy the rest of your night. Watch this again when you get a chance. You don't have to watch it again tonight, but please watch it again. This is a real good one and a necessary one for our people. Somebody said who made that fit? Nubia. There's a website. Go to if you like this, this, you know, I want to support the business that is NUWBIA. I think that's how they spell NUWBIA, and they got some beautiful merch there. And I caught me a couple of things the other day. Yeah, because the shirt and hat, you get it. You go to Nubia, NUWBIA. You go to that website, and they got some great Divine. They got Divine merch. They got a lot. They got some Divine merch. But all right, family, I'm gonna have a good time tonight. I gotta go do my nighttime. Yeah, Nubia. Yep. That's how you spell it. If it don't come up, just type it in on Google. It'll come up. You'll see exactly. Type in Nubia clothes, and it'll come up, or Nubia merch or whatever, and it'll definitely come up. Once again, for those who are interested in the tobacco me and Blue was talking about during tonight's show, you could send it as donation based, and you can send a donation to my PayPal on the screen in the chat right now. Donations of 30 or more, and I will send you out a cigar or some cigars depending on what you send. But other than that, yeah, somebody said I can see the aurora in Phoenix. Yeah, shout out to everybody who can see the aurora. Shout out to everybody, But enjoy your night, family. Enjoy your night. It is popping. Make sure y'all stay tapped in and don't get distracted with all the nonsense on the internet. I will see y'all. I'll see most of y'all tomorrow on Patreon. All right. Patreon 3:00. Brother Sharif, the premier of quantum operators. This is it right here. All right. Peace and blessings, y'all. Enjoy your night.